Nagi, Nagi, Nagi. What a shame, what a shame. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, do to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. See, another fun fact. This is the first chapter, episode Nagi. At least, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't remember talking about it in chapter 33, that review. But this is the first chapter of episode Nagi where we know his ultimate fate. Like, his ultimate, like it was already being hinted at. I ain't gonna lie to you, but this is crazy. This is great. Like now it's like reading a tragedy. Like if the like I always thought the foreshadowing was just for like, oh, the Manshine fall off into the end of New Aegis League comeback. No. The foreshadowing now, it is legit reading a tragedy. You know how this ends, at least in regards to Bullock so far. Obviously, I, like many others, assume Nagi's gonna have a comeback in some way, shape, or form. Somehow. I don't know. It's getting real rough. Especially in chapter 301, it's getting real rough. But like, with that being the case, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just tickles my soul in a certain way, bro. Like, should I even read this? I was gonna be watching a man, and like, the craziest thing about this is, though, while we're probably gonna keep building to the Nagi fall off, and we're eventually gonna get to it, and like, what's the earliest that we covered Manshine? We haven't gotten the third selection yet. We're not seeing Manshine for like a year. At bare minimum, like 12 chapters minimum. Not probably. We're probably seeing Manshine for 2 years. Like, in terms of just how frequently this manga releases, especially if we don't finish the World 5 match at this chapter. We're probably not seeing it. We're not seeing the Aegis League for like 1 year at a minimum, 2 years, maybe 3 years at a max. But even still, we're gonna be building to that. That's gonna be crazy. But all that being the case, you know what time it is. You know what series this is. Even if it is a spin-off that is leading towards a tragic fate. Ooh, that was clean. We got a pre-draw. Of course. And that's the thing, right? I think episode Nagi will be my, like, copium, because, once again, I mentioned this before, Nagi used to be my favorite character. Favorite. Then he jumped off a cliff. And then, he hasn't, like, and it's unfortunate, right? Because notably, it'd be one thing if Nagi just fell off, and then and then everything else stayed the same. But then, post-Manshine, kind of sure kept introducing characters that I liked. And kept reinforcing characters I already liked. So characters like Hiyori, characters like Kaiser, characters like Ness, characters like Corona, characters like Snuffy. Like there's just been even Lorenzo, which is crazy to say, mainly because I really don't like the episode Nagi, or not the episode Nagi. I really don't like Nagi's fall. Like, it makes perfect sense. Don't get me wrong, and I get the meta-narrative reasoning behind it. And I also understand how this would allow for more flexibility, and obviously there's still a high possibility of Nagi coming back in one way, shape, or form. I get that, but like, it's not like Kaneshiro since they stopped cooking with everybody else. In fact, he just cooked more. So, like, Nagi didn't just fall out of my favor as my favorite character. He just kept going lower and lower and lower and lower. Like, don't get me wrong, I still have this. I have this era of Nagi. I have cool Nagi, but, like, it just don't hit this. Like, it's kind of like reading Adventures of... Is that spoilers? I mean, it's light spoilers. I think it's light spoilers. Essentially, Adventures of Sinbad is a prequel to Nagi. Like, legitimately, the last chapter of Adventure of Sinbad ends on Sinbad's introduction in Magi. That's where it goes. So, like, having read Magi and knowing how the story goes, and then reading Adventures of Sinbad, you know what you're building to. It's extra context, and that's kind of what episode Nagi's in. Like, I had this... It's weird. I need to talk more about Adventures of Sinbad. I need to talk more about Magi. I haven't talked about it on the channel for a while. But I remember just reading Adventures of Sinbad, and as much as I like the new characters, the elaboration on existing characters, the elaboration on Sinbad, honestly, I just kept reading it with the sense of foreboding, where I'm like, I know where this is going. And I'm in the same spot here. But honestly, if you're going to do a prequel series, right, or at least, because I guess the funny thing is, Magi ended, and then Adventures of Sinbad came out, so episode Nagi is running concurrently with the main manga. So, I guess this isn't really a prequel in the traditional sense. But if you're going to do this, do it like episode Nagi's doing it, man. Just build to it. But let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 3. Wait. Hold on, let me do a slight adjustment. Yeah, no, too much of adjustment. Yeah, baby. That's it. But let's hop right into chapter 34 of episode Nagi, Never Wake Up from This... Never wake up from this dream. after he was forced to wake up from the dream in the most recent chapters. Kaneshiro Sensei, you fiend! You fiend! But this is an adorable image of Nagi. Black robes. I look like he got Pokeballs on. I'm not sure what those symbols are actually meant to mean, but Children's Day, Sashiro. So I'm assuming this is like a moment from Nagi's past. Baby Nagi. I know. I played these games before. I don't know. I never actually watched Squid Games. I know about Squid Games solely through the memes. And like, no, I think it is just through the memes. I was about to say, did I ever watch an episode? No, I think I've walked in on people watching episodes and I was like, enjoy. And then I walked out. Was it? Oh wait. Whoa. Oh, did I go the exact wrong way? Oh, yeah. I went backwards. Whoops. I don't know why I did that. I guess because we used the reading left to right. Let's see. Nagi and Reo running parallel. Ooh, there's actually a lot of space on their faces. But I do like the parallel here. Both of them are charging forward in their own respective matches. Nagi against the World 5 and Reo against, which team? I completely forget. He's playing with Shido and Igaguri right now, but I forget who he's playing against. I think my son is on there, my baby boy. Let's see. Oh yeah, Ren, my son, I birthed him. Oh no. See, the thing is, I don't know now, especially with there's 50 days, at least at the time of recording. The latest chapter of the main manga is chapter 301, and there's 50 days to the World Cup. 50, and I don't think we're gonna get rid of my son in particular, my baby boy right here. I birthed him and everything. Like, I don't think we're gonna get rid of him. But I'm real worried for his relevance. Like, Corona, while he was one of the main supporting factors of Isagi's run throughout the Neo Aegis League, that was because Isagi had very limited options, and Corona was one of the first people to latch onto it. But now, with everybody being back, Corona, who's already struggling to get some screen time, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, he's not going to be competing with Baro, Rin, Chigiri, Bachira, Kurigami, Shido. Like he's going to be competing with all that. And of course, you still got Aiku, Nico. Like, you have so many characters he has to compete with. Heavens forbid if Seijo. I actually put that poll up for Blue Lock, and I've seen, at first, it was going with the idea that Sei's a lock for the U20 team. I've seen a lot of people saying that he may sit this one out, and ultimately we're going to save him for the actual U20, since we already do have Hiyori as, like, a pseudo Sei. But even still, like, if Sei's there too, there's so many other characters that not necessarily fill Corona's role, but could, like, act as surrogates or substitutes that could arguably be better than Corona in that role. So I'm very worried for my son, my baby boy. Let's see. Reo, mix. Let's see. Wait. Not getting through. That's my boy. That's my son. Stop him. Stop. I think Corona ends up on their team, though. So like, obviously they do win here. But still, that's wrong. And, like, notably, I think the reason I love Corona so much, the reason I birthed them, particularly, I ripped out a tooth, threw it into the ground, and grew up into Corona, is because I do like speedsters. And I do like speedsters who specifically have Corona's handicap, where, like, the one thing is, they do not have that much build. Maybe it's the Fire Emblem fan in me, but, like, I love characters who are really, really fast, and ultimately can't take a hit. And Corona, he really is that character. Let's see. Not getting through. Try to stop me, Braid Speeder. Now, don't get me wrong, I get it. Heat of the pitch, bada bada bing, bada bada boom. But, like, that's the best you could come up with? Of all the insults you could manifest in that moment, try to stop me, Braid Speeder. Maybe speed for braids or something, like just, I don't know. Just to come up with a better, like, Ryo. I get he grew up rich, so maybe he didn't have to think of complex insults for people. Maybe they all came generated, but, like, dog, what? Let's see. Oh no, but he missed my son! But wait. That's the dribbling move I made earlier. Ah, okay. So we're seeding, once again, the copy thing for Ryo. Which makes sense. Like, obviously, I'm fine with Ryo unlocking the whole copy thing in the third selection match with Yuki Maya. But seeding it earlier like this is also just fine, too. And that's the thing, right? It's always... I always find it weird, or at least hard to judge Recto? What? I always find it hard to judge retroactive foreshadowing in comparison to, like, foreshadowing. Like, it's kind of like how I felt a lot about which manga was it? It's kind of how I felt about My Hero Academia, where, but I guess it's different here because notably this is just minor stuff that we already know ends up happening in the main manga. But a big issue I had with My Hero Academia is that it would show you something very, very important with absolutely no explanation, and then either next chapter or a few chapters later, it would go back and explain it. But every single time that happened, I was like, you just should have foreshadowed it. Like retroactive foreshadowing doesn't do anything for me. But I think the reason I'll complain about it in My Hero Academia, but I'll be okay with it here, is because this is a side manga that is covering not necessarily repeated content. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it just flat out, like, there was a whole, I mean, it was like 5 or 6 chapters ago where we dedicated a whole match to something we'd already seen, like, in the main manga, actively. But, with that being the case, I don't mind it as much here, because it is a side manga that's reuse some content, and if you're reusing content anyway, or at least elaborating on existing content, it is better to technically foreshadow stuff like this earlier, even if it's not really foreshadowing, because we already know. Right? Like, no one's reading episode Nagi and then reading the main manga. Maybe like 10 years down the line when both manga are done, maybe that'll be the case. Someone will read like episode Nagi as a prequel. But even then, you really wouldn't want to do that. Like, I wouldn't tell anyone to read episode Nagi or watch the episode Nagi movie before they watch the Blue Lock anime or before they read the Blue Lock manga. Because I think a lot of moments are strengthened in episode Nagi, they're only strengthened because of the context from the main series. It really, like, it's like how I wouldn't tell anybody to read Adventures of Sinbad before they read Nagi. I'd be more lenient with it, and I think it would be a fun experiment. Like, who knows? Because a friend of mine keeps telling me, I'm gonna read Nagi, I'm gonna read Nagi, I'm gonna read Nagi. They've been saying that for 3 years. They're never reading Nagi. But in case they ever do, or anyone else ever does, I may have them read Sinbad first, and then read Nagi, and then see what they think. Because presumably, the issue with reading Sinbad first is you're just gonna be wondering where Sinbad is for, like, the first 30 or so chapters of Nagi. Because Sinbad does get introduced relatively early in Nagi. But, let's see. That's a dribbling move I made earlier. And he just perfectly copied it, which is very impressive. Like, notably, the, do I even have that sketchbook anywhere nearby? I think I do. Let me see. But my OC, I literally have a whole video scripted out for him. But let me give some soft spoilers for those who decided to tune into the episode Nagi review. My Blue Lock OC, Yatsu and Pitsu, which literally just translates to that guy with the pencil. Like I'll be completely, that's the joke. Like his name just straight up translates to pencil guy, I do believe. And not that guy with the pencil, but literally pencil guy. But, okay, it may not be in these. Oh, wait, nope, he's right here. So, my little silly OC man, Yatsu and Pitsu here, his whole thing is that he takes Ryo's ability and kind of pseudo-evolves it, yet not really. Because he can't copy things 100%. Because note how Corona says he perfectly copied it. Like he mimicked it exactly. My guy, he can't copy something absolutely. It's not in his nature. Because he has a very unique build, he's kind of top-heavy. He can only take aspects of people's things. But in order to make up for that, what he does, the reason his title is the Chimera, if you will. The reason his title is the Chimera is because he'll take different aspects of characters and fuse them together. Kind of like how Ryo ended up doing in Manshine with Rin and Sei. But ultimately what happened there is that Ryo was still flipping back and forth between the two. Meanwhile, Yatsu, the Chimera, would actively fuse two styles. Like, say, for example, he wouldn't use this move exactly. He'd use this and then infuse it with a chop dribble from Baro or a Emperor-style dribble from Yukimaya. There would be those different combinations that he would come up with on the fly. Ryo works for things like this where he could immediately do anything like that, and notably it is effective against someone like Corona, shockingly enough, considering Corona has really good short turns. But let's see. You're good. Oh, that's also why he's my son. He repeats things. I don't know why I do that either. I think it is a learned habit from my family, just to put emphasis on things by repeating the word. I have no idea why. And notably, whenever I go to, like, forcefully do it, it doesn't happen. But I'll do it so many times accidentally in conversation or on video, and then I'll be, like, listening back to what I said, editing, or someone will point it out. I'm like, oh, yeah, I do that. Huh. Strange. But with it being the case, I like Ryo's copy ability. I'm interested to see how it evolves. I like the pseudo evolution that it had in the End of the Manshine game in the recent main manga chapters, where he on the spot like switched from one to the other and ended up directly ripping Otoya's shot directly from him and did it completely instinctually. So maybe we get more stuff like that. But the reason I went with the Chimera style isn't just because your boy can design his own weapon off the top of his head so he wanted to steal other people's weapons, but also because I think there's more potential for Ryo in the main series if he starts actively fusing weapons. I'm assuming that'll probably be his next evolution. If I had to hazard a guess, considering we still have the whole U20 World Cup to go through, I think the big weakness that Ryo had that was evident in the BM game was that he can copy someone to 99% efficiency, but obviously it comes with two main issues. One, it's 99%, not 100%. And two, he can't go above that 99%. He can only mimic up to there. So I'm hoping in the way that my OC surpasses his limits of only being able to copy someone up to like 50% by fusing multiple people's weapons to get to possibly 150% to exceed what was possible, Rayo ends up taking these 99% and starts stacking them. How he would do that, it really all depends on the opponents he's fighting and those he's working with. He could fuse multiple midfielders together. He could fuse together a midfielder and a striker. He could play a defensive role. Whatever Rayo ends up doing, I think he could lead to like the whole weapon fusion concept and go from chameleon to hypothetically Chimera. But with that being the case, let's see. A goal in my color. I'll win with my goal. Once again, though, I like it. And of course, I know y'all are gonna be like, oh, here comes Pencil with the retroactive foreshadowing app again. Yes, and I say that because I'll win with my own goal. That hunger to win by himself, of himself, it was present all the way back in the Team V game against Team Z that we saw all the way back in first selection, back in the main manga, where ultimately it was, I haven't read the early parts of the look in a while. What was his name? The big guy who was the goalie. He realized, hey, he's still a striker at heart. Even if he lives supposedly to support Nagi, Rayo always has that own hunger, that own dream. He wants to win with his own goals. He has that desire, that hunger that could not be satiated. And that's what makes him different from Nagi. And seeing that here, or just reminding us of it here, once again helps build to the why Rayo was able to succeed and move forward, because he has his own internal dream, not necessarily motivated by anybody else. While Nagi, my poor boy Nagi, he simply could not compete. We'll see. I'll win with my own goal. Oh, all right. So we're back to the Nagi side. Third selection, World All-Star Battle. All right. Oh, darn. They immediately ganked. But then again, that's the thing, right? I get that. Ultimately, it's funny. I remember specifically a context where I thought I was fast. And then I immediately got blitzed. Not like, obviously, like, humans don't actually speed blitz each other. But I remember the first time I got hawked down. For any of my, not hawked down. For any of my sprinters out there, or even anyone who runs any race ever. There's nothing more satisfying than hawking somebody down, but there's nothing more horrifying than being hawked down. Especially if it's at the end of a long race. The first time I remember being hawked down was in the 400. And I was going at a pretty solid pace. It wasn't my first 400. My first 400 was terrible because I didn't know how to pace myself at all. It was my first time ever doing it. I was thrown into a random. I was like, why? This sucks. But I remember in the 400 that I was running, I was still put in there randomly because my coach was like, you need to learn how to run a 400. I was like, coach, please no. But I had to do it. And I was doing good. But once again, I still didn't have good stamina nor energy conserving at that time. And you could just hear it. Like I don't know. Like, especially when the track is still loud. Somehow, it's like almost everything else gets lowered, like the audio sensitivity on everything else gets lowered, and you just hear, like they will walk it straight behind you, and I lost that race. I got like fourth. I couldn't even like place the top 3 in that heat, which was a slow heat, because like, I gassed, and I got hawked down by multiple people. Admittedly, I wasn't ever even in first. I was like gearing up to get second, and I just got hawked down twice. It was horrible. It was horrible. It sucks. And that's kind of what they're doing here. Nagi thought, oh, let me just move forward. Let me attack. And they're all like, Gangaruni, what? Who do you think you is? And notably, Loki's not even here on this gank. The actual speedster still seems to be standing around. Let's see. No sneak attacks. Think twice, brat. I'll crush ya. I genuinely hope from the bottom of my heart that Nomura-sensei ends up designing better characters. And notably, like, I know Shido's just meant to be tan, but I also hope, like many others, he does have at least a hint of African ancestry. But like, it's Shido and Loki. We're 50-50. And that's not a good ratio to have. Dada still looks so wrong. And it's just characterized. I don't really like that for Dada. And Agi having no eyes is still like the biggest insult. Like, the rest of his character design is absolutely fine. The fact he just has to have eyes, like, why would you do that? But Loki's fine. And Shido's fine. But I feel like a lot of people don't even count Shido. He's just meant to be, he's like, they went out of his way to say, no, it's all the sun. He's meant to be tan, unfortunately. Headcanons or not. Headcanons aside, I don't think there is actually, like, any narrative or, like, out of narrative evidence that he's meant to be anything other than tan, which sucks, because I would like more representation. But I'm hoping if we do get more representation, because we're going into the World Cup arc soon, I hope it's... Mensa was fine too. But, like, it's Mensa, bro. Ain't no one care about Mensa. But I'm really hoping for something better, bro. Please. Choppa was fine too, or Choppy, whatever his name ended up being from PXG. But I don't know, man. Please, more, like... More Loki, less Donna, bro. Let's see. I'll crush ya. Come on then, World All-Stars. Slipping past you. Let's go, Zantetsu. Alright. Okay. But see, that's the thing, that hunger. But then again, it's a hunger based on a false thing. And I don't know, right? Because I definitely do find myself, especially as I think more about Nagi, ever since Nagi, like, got drop, like, chapter 300 came out, as went on, like, a whole introspective arc, just thinking about Nagi, which I think is good. If you can make me think about, like, myself and my own life experiences with your character narratives, then I think you're cooking with gas. And with that being the case, I get Nagi's sense of directionlessness when he achieved what he believed to be his goal. I think the main reason I find it hard to believe is because he lost the game. Like, he beat Isagi one time, and then he beat him the rest of the time in that match, showing that he never really surpassed Isagi. So that's the only thing I can't fully agree with. But I still remember when I hit certain, like, milestone goals in my life. Like, when I graduated high school, I was like, okay, yeah. But luckily enough, when I graduated high school, I had college immediately after. I didn't have to think too hard. I was like, okay, finish high school, go to college. And I graduated college. And I was like, okay, go for your master's. And I went for my master's. And then I was kind of in a nebulous void a little bit, but even then I still had a loose direction. I think that is the thing that separates me from Nagi. Even when I reach a certain goal, like a new goal either spontaneously spawns in or was already pre-planned, right? Like, for the longest time, especially in the content creation standpoint, my goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers. But then I was like, cool, let's get 2. Then let's get 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, it is really a case of endless hunger where, okay, I've gotten this many views, this many likes, this many comments, I want more. And I just keep moving forward. For TikTok, that was like, hey, I wanna get, like, to monetizable amounts. Which was, at least at the time, for like the kind of content I make, was 100,000 followers. And thusly, I just kept going and going and going and going and going. But then, I hit that. I was like, okay. But then, the funny thing about that is, I hit that, only to find out the main video style I did, which was Stitches, isn't monetizable. So I was like, oh, okay. So I had to completely switch up the style format. But still, I had that hunger to keep doing and keep growing, and I still have that now. So where I'm at like 143, I want more. So that's the thing. Nagi, it's based on something that, and the funny thing is about Nagi, the reason why I do still find it hard to relate with him, even when I try to like fully empathize and link in, not only did he lose to Isagi in that game anyway, he lost to Isagi in Menshine. He got 1 victory over him. But also, just because you beat somebody once, doesn't mean you're permanently better than them. That's just not how that works. Like even in real life, like, I think of all the times I've beaten my most try-harder friends and the thing that they thought they were good at. Or the thing that, not even thought. I have friends that are really, really good at certain things. Like, I have a homie who got me into both Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering. When we first started playing, he whooped my behind. I didn't really know how to play the game, but still, even once I got to a point of playing the game, he would put belt to behind on me. He'd be like, okay, so here's me synchro summoning immediately, like 3 turns in, I'm gonna wipe your entire deck now. I was like, and then in Magic, he was like, alright, we're gonna immediately destroy all your monsters, and just your monsters, don't worry, I have an effect to cancel out the effect that says wipe all monsters on this card. Here, let me show you. And he would break it down for me and be like, hey, buddy, just in case you think I'm lying to you, you can read the card, and we will sit here and Google everything just to make sure I'm doing this right. And he would absolutely whoop my behind. So a goal of mine became to beat him in both of those things. And I beat him. Once. And then I went for another, and then another, and then another, and then I lose again, and then another. And that's the thing about having a rival, or even a goal that is literally another human being. Unless they fall from the heavens and fall out of life, you're always going to be competing with that guy. Like, that's just it. And I can't understand how Nagi, well, he got that euphoric bliss and just let it go. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have that dog in him. That need for not just one, like, there are people, it is truly the state of flow, right? Where there are people that you will just be better at something relative to them. Like, I go back to the track analogy. I was just faster than some people. Like, I was in Group A, they were in Group C. I never had to worry about losing to those people. And it got to a point where I was in Group A, even the people in Group B, some of which held former rivals, they sort of fell to the wayside. I had surpassed them. But I still had rivals with me in Group A that I was not faster than, and I chased them. And then I got faster than some of them, and then they chased me. It's like an Ouroboros. It never stops. And that's the same case for me playing my friend in Magic, or playing my friend in Yu-Gi-Oh!, or playing my friends in Smash, or playing my friends in Fighters. No matter what, as long as we're somewhat relative, you get a victory over me, I get a victory over you, we're gonna keep going. And notably, once you get to a certain skill level, where you're just both at the same pace, and it comes down to certain things like luck of the draw, or how good your hand is for the case of Magic. Like the other day, I went to my boy's house and we were playing Magic, and we were both playing Commander, and we both got this particular deck. It literally was a case of whoever got their Commander out first and got their win con going won the game. Y'all, I drew 7-card hands in Magic. I drew a whole hand of lands with like 2 regular cards in it. I was this close to mulliganing because I didn't think I shuffled the deck that good. But I held it. And he started. He nearly got to his win con. But then I got to mine because I had enough lands and he was landlocked. And then we went from there. I beat him. Doesn't matter. I'm going to see if I can hang out with him again to play more. Because it's just because I beat him that one time, he won the first game that day, and I won the next 2 games. Both of which were just straight sheer luck, because he got bad draws. He got bad hands. And that's, something like luck. But anyone who plays or does anything that's skill-related, beating someone once, beating someone twice, beating someone thrice doesn't really mean anything. It's only when you have 100% victory rate against them where you can be like, okay, yeah, let me move on. But Nagi didn't have that, and that's why I can't fully relate to it. And especially for Nagi, someone who plays video games. But then again, I guess he plays mostly single-player games. He doesn't play like comp or multiplayer games. But especially, it confuses me for Nagi because he's a person who plays video games. That just because you beat one video game doesn't mean you stop playing. You move on to the next one, right? Like you move on to the next one, or you get better at the game you're currently playing at. Like, essentially, fighting games for me are like an endless loop. I've put who knows how many, well, I can probably look it up, but like who knows how many hours into Smash and Fighters. Because no matter what, my skill ceiling just keeps going higher, because I'm not the best in the world. I can keep grinding at that. Same thing for Nagi in his games, but unfortunately, it just all goes nowhere. Well, maybe somewhere. We'll see. Let's go, Zantetsu. Come on. That ego. It's fine by me, selfish Seshiro. Ooh. Interesting. So the back pass to break through the 3. Interesting. Wait. So he gets triple ganked. He passes it back to Zantetsu, who just passes it right back into the triple gank? Okay. But then again, he looks like he back heel traps it with his left. Let's see what's he gonna do here. Whoa. Okay, so the back heel trap into a double tap over the head. What? For real? Ha! There! I would be so terrible. Like, I don't know. I'm a big guy. Like big. Like, I weighed at 211 today. So, like, I'm a hefty fella. I don't even like the idea of being charged by a guy who's my same weight. Someone like Dado, who's probably like 240 straight muscle, this would be horrifying. Let's see. There! Keep my speed up. Foot to shoulder blade what? Foot to shoulder double like, I don't know. Maybe because my spatial awareness is kind of garbage sometimes. I can even fathom doing some stuff like this. Like, this is real. I've watched a bit of soccer. Like, especially like high level stuff. And it is absurd to me what y'all can just do with a ball. Everything but touch your hands. Like, that, the amount of insane real life things I've seen, and obviously Blook as well. It is absurd to me to have that much, like, kinesthetic intelligence. The ability to recognize where things are in space relative to you, especially in motion. Like, the hardest thing for me to do, especially whenever I was playing soccer, really any sport with a ball, is that if I was standing still, I could basically react to darn near anything. I'd still, not everything, but still, I could react mostly. But if ever I was moving, especially at top speed, like Nagi says, keep my speed up, it would always be hard for me to react appropriately. Like, I would be mid-step, especially in soccer. I remember there'd be times where I'd be mid-step, mid-motion, top speed sprint. Someone would pass to me, and I'd miss the trap because I would have to think. Like, the two motions would clash. My brain would be like, move forward, and my brain would also be like, stop and trap the ball, and the ball would just. I sucked at soccer, alright? I ain't gonna cap it. I was bad at soccer, but still, Nagi's crazy. Foot to shoulder blade double touch. Boom. Huh? Ooh, right past Dada's head too. Okay, cleaving it. Is he an acrobat? I mean, kinda. I mean, might as well be. I'll smash up the world. Nagi. The world's gonna give you back shots, Nagi. Nagi, no. Let's see. Don't get picky about how to score goals. Let's go, Igaguri. Yo, and honestly, that not even, and I'm sorry, I keep going into life lessons and talking about it, but that's the thing, Blue Lock, I give credit, Blue Lock, it makes me think a lot about life in general, because it's Blue Lock, and, you know, it's close, out of all of the series I review, you know, I cover a whole bunch of, like, fantastical series with power systems, stuff like that. Blue Lock is one of the more grounded ones, so I think that's why I always relate to it. But don't get picky about how to score goals. That's like a life lesson. Honestly, as the older I've gotten, I've always realized if there's an opportunity, take it. Whether it seems like a small opportunity, big opportunity, just do it. If you are gonna wait for the perfect opportunity to come, you'll never do anything. Like, and I tell this to everyone who specifically wants to do content creation in particular. They're always like, oh, well, you know, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know how I'm going to talk about it. And I always say, just talk. Just yap. Just yap. And the way I always contextualize it for them, because they're always like, well, you like to yap. It's easy for you. And I'm like, guilty as charged. I come from a long line of yappers. But the thing I always say to them is that there are people on the internet with literal millions of followers, make thousands upon thousands of dollars a month, make thousands upon thousands of dollars per video sometimes, and all they do is sit in front of the camera. Not doing anything. I'm not even talking about the people who, like, do ASMR, because personally, some people ask me to do ASMR, I don't get it. But, like, there are people who do, well, at least, like, they'll have to buy, like, a high-quality mic, and they'll touch it, and they'll tap it, and, like, breathe on it, like, there's stuff like that. And even the people who are into those, like, audio things, where they have someone, like, praise it, like, whatever, that still takes work, effort, time, I get that. But no, they're just people who sit there in front of the camera. And people give them money. I don't get it. Personally, I don't understand it. But they're, like, that's the thing. I always tell people, someone's gonna watch something. Humans are so content-oriented. We love anything. So just do something. Don't be picky. But, like, I had to stop posting on TikTok for a while because I was overseas at the time. And legitimately, I came back in the middle of the man versus dog debate, which led to the man versus gorilla debate. And then I was just like, you know what? Why not? Let me talk about it. Because I didn't know, I didn't have any context. I'm not an animal expert. Don't have my degree on that. Don't have either of my degrees. Anything remotely related to animal biology. I was like, let me yap about that. And then I yapped about it. Don't be picky. Don't be picky. Just do what you gotta do when you gotta do it. Let's see. Let's go, Igaguri. Think of me as Shido. Oh, interesting. All right, let's see what you mean by that. Huh? Okay, here we go. 3 treasures. Go for it, jack of all trades, prince. All right, let's see. How good is Igaguri's passing game? Focus on the goal. Ultimate focus. Okay. So yeah. And I'll admit, sometimes when they go this hard on it, on the retroactive foreshadowing, it does kind of make the main manga look a little bit weird. Like, we're gonna see Ryo undergo this same kind of thinking where he absorbs somebody else's skills and styles consciously in the 3rd selection match. So it is kind of a weird thing. That's the hard thing. Like, how heavy and hard do you go in your retroactive foreshadowing? Do you just fully commit to the bit, like here, because, like, you know that your readers know that this happens anyway, and risk breaking canon essentially, or do you be real soft with it? Kind of like we do have both hard approaches. We have Nagi in particular doing his soft foreshadowing, the idea of this hunger and that he has it, and that we know, like, it's the dramatic irony of it all. Like, we know Nagi's gonna lose that hunger, lose that passion. It's gonna lead to his downfall, his ultimate downfall, being banished from Blue Lock eventually. But then you have Ryo here, who's just hard foreshadowing. Like it's not even foreshadowing anymore. He's literally doing the thing that he doesn't do for another few matches in narrative. That's just happening right now, and that is, I'm more of a fan of the soft foreshadowing. I'm more of a fan of the dramatic irony rather than just doing it. Let's see. Whoa, purple top knot. Isn't that my move? Oh, I like that though. I love the dragon design. Oh, I like it. And once again, something like this is hard to draw. Like, all the individual line work here. Like, I'm not saying it'd be easier to draw like the full scale Shido dragon, but even still, like, this is no easy feat. This is no easy feat. Because that's the one thing. This is the one critique I've seen about Ryo, but I actually don't agree with. A lot of people don't like how his copies are not, like, to the same detail and level of the originals. But not only does that play into the character, because obviously he's not on the same level as the things that he's taking, but also it's just as difficult in its own way. Once again, This is not easy to draw. This is not light work. Trust me. I don't even want to draw this panel. Man, I don't want to write that much. But still, isn't that my move? Ooh. The overhead into the drag and drop dive. Yeah! Smash it in. We know Nagi doesn't score here, though. So I'm assuming, who's going to block it? It's probably going to be Luna. Not Luna. No, I mentioned that this orb, he wasn't anywhere nearby. Eat this! And once again, that's nice, soft foreshadowing to Nagi's U20 game wanting to introduce himself to the world. I like that, Like, see, that's the thing. Soft foreshadowing? No. Hard foreshadowing? Oh, like, I'll eat it. It's not inedible or anything like that, but like, let's see. Eat this, world! Boom! Loki out of nowhere with the block. Huh? I thought I got past everyone. Did you not have functioning eyes, Nagi? There were 5 people on the pitch. Where do you think he was? Too slow. That's way too similar to the Shido voice. What voice did I give Loki? I feel like he didn't actually talk that much. Too slow. That's a little bit higher pitch than Shido, but I think I'll rock with it. Because I think Loki's actually younger than Shido. I think Shido's 18 and Loki's 17. Let's see. Too slow. I would give him the Sonic voice, but I can't. For some reason, the Sonic cast consistently eludes me. I listen to a whole bunch of Sonic clips, but I cannot mimic any of them. I can't mimic any of Shadow's voices, any of Knuckles' voices. Heavens forbid I try any of Tails' voices. None of the main man himself. Froggy! I can barely do a Big the Cat, and I can only say, Froggy, come back! And I can't even do Big the Cat properly. Like, I don't know what it is, but the Sonic VAs elude me. I can whip out a batter fastest in the universe. Just like that. I am Lord Frieza, you filthy... I can do Frieza. I can do... My name is Imperfect Cell. I can even hit the Semi-Perfect Cell, if I think of it. Hold on. I can't think of it. I haven't actually watched that part of DBZ. Like in a little bit. I want to go back and rewatch their breakdowns of the 60 episode series. I think that was really, really fun. But I can pull out those. Heartbeat. And I haven't even watched those for a while. I can even do like a bad Vexen, admittedly a very bad Vexen, on the spot. And I barely listen to Vexen clips. I blame regular Pat's recon playthrough for that, having that. But even why, Miss Porter? I didn't mean to launch my shot directly in the boy's face, and I can do a pretty bad clean. But for some reason, I cannot tear out any of the Sonic voices. I would literally give him Roger Craig Smith Sonic. Chillita, like I can't do it. I can hit a 90s voice, but I cannot do any of the Sonic cast. I don't know why. I gotta study up. Let's see. I can even rip Eternal Flame's voice, at least only for his intro. I don't know. Even as I listen to more and more Flame videos, like I've been getting caught up on his What If series. I was gonna like cover one entirely. I was like, that's gonna be either if I react to like his full part 1 of the Toji What If, that's gonna be a 10-hour video. And if I react to any of these individually, since he does such a fantastic like Flame does such a fantastic job fleshing out the JJK universe in a way that JJ himself doesn't even do. But by proxy, if that's going to be like, and notably, one thing I am planning to record later today, I'll see if I get to record later today or I have to record it another day. Solid Saiyan just started a new What If of what if Goku got kidnapped by Raditz. And I was just watching it myself, and I was like, wait, someone said I should react to a Solid Saiyan What If, and I want to react to a Solid Saiyan What If as it comes out. So I'm probably going to clock into that. But with it being the case, that's just going to be, like, I will wait until Flame starts a new series. I'll wait 2 days, and then I'll react. And then I'll just do that. So I have, like, a full series from start to finish. I don't want to have to play catch-up with Flame on the reactions. And plus, more Flame content for me. And hopefully, the more Mike can rip his voice. Because, like, hello, everybody. It's Eternal Flame. I can't do it full. It's just the, hello, everybody. I can only hit that. And I don't know why. Once again, I think it's because it's a specific trigger phrase that he repeats a lot. That's kind of like my trigger phrase, but I haven't been able to fully reach into the voice. And notably, I've outgrown filthy monkeys. That's my Frieza trigger voice. Fastest in the universe. That's the Birder trigger. My name is Imperfect Cell. That, ironically enough, is the Imperfect Cell trigger. But I'm a scientist. Experiments what I do. Yes. So that's the fact. Like, I have trigger lines for everything. And that will, like, his intro, obviously, naturally, will be the trigger. Flame, like that will be the trigger. But I can't unlock the rest of his voice just yet. Sorry, went on a complete voice acting tangent. Let's hop back into this. Too slow. He's too fast. That's inhuman speed. Nice little, I mean, not foreshadowing, that is just true. But also, he says the same thing. Ooh, and he doesn't just block the ball. He immediately slams it back into the ground, too. Very impressive. Let's see. Picking a fight with us on your own? Aren't you afraid of anything? He's afraid. Oh! Gotta shoot it to you feed. Once again, that's all foreshadowing. Because remember, it was fear that killed Nagi. If he just had scored... fear of Otoya, of all characters. That's what gets me. It wasn't Lavahino. Fear of Otoya. That had this man freeze up. Wow, man. Let's see. Aren't you afraid of anything? He's the same as you, Loki. Even though you look down on us. Oh, that's crazy. I like that, though. I like that. Honestly, I've come to, as I've gotten older, I remember not liking people who were arrogant, even when they could back it up. If you're arrogant, but you can back it up, that's one thing. And I say, just don't be arrogant. Don't be confident over nothing. But I remember there were people who were just like the smartest, and they were cocky about it. And I was like, you disgust me. I was like, but now as I gotten older, I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you're the smartest, if you're the strongest, if you're the fastest, if you have the most bands, you kind of earn the right to like you do kind of like, I can't knock you. What am I gonna say? You're wrong. Like, I've had my fun knocking on people who thought they were smarter than me, who thought they were faster than me, who thought they were stronger than me, who thought they were better than me in something, and beating them. Like, that's satisfying. But if they just are, if they're built like that, if they're literally too fast within human speed, I mean, shoot, you got it, King. Like what am I meant to do other than say actual factuals? I believe it. Let's see. Even though you look down on us. No way. I respect you guys. You're all amazing until I showed up. Yo, that's crazy. But honestly, once again, who will talk to him? Who gonna tell him no? Noel Noah looked at that guy, the 17-year-old, and was like, yeah, that's the biggest threat to me, currently. Chris Prince, second best striker in the world, nothing. Not even worthy of an acknowledgement. But the 17-year-old prodigy gets one look from Noel Noah, and Noel Noah's like, yeah, he's the current threat to me. He is. So he deserves it. He's talking that talk. And hey, if he wasn't there, Nagi would have scored. That's kind of the actual facts of it. Luna didn't engage. It was literally just Pablo. What is his name? It was Pablo, Dada, and whatever the main guy, whatever the French guy's name is. But that being the case, it is true. He did stop him. He really does look down on us. Huh, fiend. That's what I like about you, Loki. You fool. See, like why? Why draw him like this? Why are we doing this? Why does he have buck teeth? Why does he have no eyebrow? Like, why would you do that? I love you, block mangakas, but why are you like this? Let's see. He rushed from outside my field of vision. What a monster. But maybe we are the same. Blessed with talent and not afraid of anything. But to put it another way, when you feel fear, when you learn fear, it will destroy you. You're not slick, Kanashiro Sensei. I know what you are, bro. I know what you aren't slick. But it's true. Honestly, there are many things in life that will define a person. But I do think your response to failure and your response to fear will truly define you. If you fail and give up, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not here to be like, you should never give up. Keep moving forward. But like, in reasonable situations, say you shoot a shot, right? For all my shot takers out there, you shoot a shot and miss, you failed. Move on. But at the same time, I think the better kind of person, or that does sound bad, it doesn't make it sound like you're wrong to not do this, but a person that I more align with and the person I am, just because I shoot a shot and miss doesn't mean I'm not going to take another shot at another time. Not at that same person. Typically, I'm not a person who's going to ask somebody out multiple times. I'm like, hey, huh? And they're like, huh? And I'm like, huh? And then I'm gone. But specifically in terms of like sports, I mentioned this before. In my freshman year, I did not make the 4x1 That boy was overconfident to the moon and back and simply wasn't built like that. So I didn't do it. But what did I do? I shot that shot. I missed, went and locked in. Trained for the entire off season. Came back so fast that at least, and notably, I'm not even sure if she was just like indirectly glazing me by lying. But there was a friend of mine came up to me. It was after some practices. I think we were running. It was a mixed practice. We were doing boys and girls. We were all just training starts, running 50s, and then running 100s. And a friend of mine came up to me and was like, our coach literally thinks you did drugs. I was like, what? She was like, there's no way you got like a whole 2 seconds faster over the course of a year. And I was like, well, in last year's Me to Kirby defense, I was not at all anywhere near as in shape as I am now. And I was like, they just lock in. But that's the thing that happened. But then again, I'm not sure if that's just like indirect glaze from that friend. I don't, like, that seems crazy for like a coach to say. But like, maybe that was something. But that's the thing. I learned fear. I got knocked down by it. I faced struggle. I faced failure. And I kept moving forward. Because that's kind of how I just approach everything in life. If you mess up, keep pushing. For the longest time, your boy couldn't find a job. Your boy was really in rough spots. Was unemployed. It was rough. It was horrible. It was awful. But I just kept applying, and then eventually got a job. There were times where your boy was struggling academically. And I locked in, and I kept pushing. Like, that's the thing. You gotta be able to move forward. And it's true to what Loki says. It will destroy you, but it's okay to be destroyed as long as you can put yourself back together. I think that's my main message. Because I can't sit here and pretend I've never been destroyed or defeated or overcome. Like, that's not a thing that I can claim. In every aspect of my life, from interpersonally to romantically to academically to professionally to what else? Physically, I have been destroyed, body bagged. Another content creation one. I've been washed straight, hammer to the dome piece, boom, beamed over the head. But every single time I get destroyed, I just get back up. I'm still alive. Gotta keep pushing somehow. And right now, I'm the place where I'm struggling, looking for a relationship right now. So I'm just in the right scenarios. Pick your battles wisely. Let's see. Hurry up. Oh, interesting though. While this is cool retroactive foreshadowing for Nagi's downfall, Nagi himself doesn't even take it into account here. He's still but that's the thing. Oh, and I like that too. In the response to the idea that when you learn fear will destroy you, what is Nagi's immediate reaction? Hurry up, Rail. The world has so many unexpected creatures. It's that connection, that need, that reliance on Rail, that automatic instinct to resort back to him. That's what made Nagi fall from the heavens. What a shame. But let's see. So many unexpected creatures. Yo, and calling Loki a creature is kind of crazy. Nagi, what do you mean by that? Let's see. Alright, win. Team white, team red. Ja! We won! We survived! Hail the 3 treasures! That was one heck of a shot, Railpon! Nice going! Oh, thanks. Why didn't you tell us you were hiding that weapon? Huh? Weapon? Yeah, so they're gonna play it up like Rail. Like that's the thing. Like, you can't fool me, kind of shows. I'd say this is just an early drop of the copy weapon. Let's see. I was just copying. I'll never catch up to the prodigies like this. Yeah, unironically, he's kind of right. like Rail's good, but like, is he even top? Is he maybe? No, he may not be top 10. Let me think. Currently, by chapter 3 and 1 of the manga, the one that came out recent time recording, Isagi, Rin, Shido, Baro. Chigiri. I'd say Kunigami, honestly. Hiyori, I'd say so at this point. Aiku. Oh, he may be top 10. Oh, I forgot Bachura, Otoya. Otoya maybe. Otoya's debatable. But like, that's the Karasu. He's better than my son. I love Corona. I birthed him, but like, he's better than Corona. But yeah, I'm not sure. He really isn't gonna be able to catch up to the pro. He does need to level up a little bit more. Did I say Chigiri? I'm not sure. Let's see. Huh? Oh, gotcha. Interesting though. He thinks copying isn't enough and will never catch up to the project like this, but then he's super high specs in the copying. I guess he'll learn. Let's see. Oh, guess this guy doesn't realize. Oh, what does he not realize, Shido? That copying ability is his rare talent. Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing, right? The ability to witness something and replicate it instantaneously is very difficult. It is not something that most people can do. Like, notably, the reason whenever someone asks me for tips on art, I'm just like, draw. And they're like, no, I want you to teach me how you do art in your style. I'm like, I don't really have this. I just keep picking up the pencil and putting things to paper. It's why my avatars always look different. It's not even just because I do different art styles for them or anything like that. It's because it's hard for me to draw the same thing twice. I can't even copy myself properly 9 out of 10 times. Because my copying ability just isn't that good. My Sharingan is, I still have 1 Tomo, bro. Your boy's nowhere near Mangekyo, nothing like that. But I know people who can pick up a pencil and recreate anything they see. They like just look at it, and not even look at it multiple times. Like they will glance at it like 3 times total as they're drawing, and then it'll come with peak because they're just that good at that. That is a rare ability that not many people have access to. So yeah, Rayo doesn't realize it, but he's actually kind of goated. Let's see. So where are we taking? Let's get that braid guy. He was the coolest. My son is the coolest, isn't he? He's so cool. Yeah, come on, Ronze Corona. Thanks. He's so polite, my baby. Let's see. Hey. Purple top knot. Don't misjudge your explosion, Mr. Chameleon. Oh, shit, why are you always so freaky, bro? What's with this angle, bro? But, once again, like, I get why people don't like Shido, but at the same time, I respect and like Shido for moments like this, where he's the one to acknowledge and glaze when appropriate. He's like, yeah, don't worry, you're still built like that. You got that dog in you. Don't sleep. I like that. Let's see. Random and Iaguri. But my son. Let's see. Blue Lock, second selection, rivalry battle. All right, team Brink of Death. Broke through! 5 members. Shido, Igarashi, Rayo, Sakura, Corona. Sakura. He never is relevant again. Clear. All right. Oh, so did they lose off screen? Wait, did they lose off screen? Why are we cutting back immediately to that? What? Okay, I guess. Nagi side, 5-man rooms. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You're starting from there? I mean, where else would you start? I mean, like, I would start from there. Especially if especially if the alphabet is different. Like I would practice too. Gotta start from the basics. He's trying to act cool. Hi there. I'm LMNOP. 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 Oh, so he's 30. Okay. I don't blame him though. Well, like when someone asks me, "Hey, what's this letter? Where number is this in the alphabet?" I also do go through the ABCs in my head. Someone once told me, "Hey, say the ABCs without singing it." And I was like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And even then, you can still hear it. There's like that slight musical hint to it, just because that's how I learned the alphabet all those years ago, and it never left me that way. Let's see. LMNOP. Will you shut up? Darn. Will you shut the heck up, you idiot? Who's that supposed to be? Your drawing sucks too. Hey. I want to see you do better, Baro. You're just as loud as him, Baro. I can't focus. Huh? I'm the victim here. Loki got it. Let's see. What a cute dog. This is a monster. Everybody's so loud. Studying is such a pain. But did y'all actually get off screen? I forget. Like, did they really get off screen? When I see Rayo, what should I talk? I guess they did just get off. Why do we glaze? Am I missing pages from that chapter? I don't think that like the game didn't end, right? Like did they get off screen, or is this like a flashback? It doesn't have the flashback colors. Let's see. When I see Rayo, Nagi. When I see Rayo, what should we talk about first? How we fought some amazing guys. How I've changed in a lot of ways. How sorry I am for saying something so mean. You get to watch your boy do good. Let's see. Or when you learn fear, you will break. That's the last thing Loki said to you. Figured I'd translate it for you. Oh, so he didn't. So that's why Nagi didn't respond here. It wasn't that he ignored it. It's that Loki literally switched languages. Okay. Huh? Oh, thanks, Kiora. Yep. Fear. What is it that I'm afraid of? That I'll never beat Isagi? That would be fine. I could just chase after that goal forever. But that's the thing. You gotta be able to adapt to new ones. You gotta be able to adapt to. But then it's weird for me. It's weird for me when it comes to like satisfaction versus goal chasing. Cause like I'm always happy. I'm not. But then again, I think it's because I have a really low happiness floor, and like essentially infinite happiness ceiling. Where like I'm happy to be alive. The fact that I'm living, breathing, I'm happy to be alive with a physically functioning body. Because that is a blessing that millions, if not arguably at least a billion people can't say they have. Like being alive with a fully functioning body. And of course there are many people just dead who cannot claim to have the same thing that I have, can't claim anything anymore. So I'm happy with that. But at the same time, I derive so much pleasure from experiencing and enjoying life itself that just that has never really been enough for me. I've always wanted / needed more. So every time I get to a certain goal in my life, I grow complacent in some aspects, but then evolve drastically in others. Like, I'm currently happy with my current place of employment, but at the same time, I'm plotting, eventually, to evolve from there, to go further in my career. Because I'm like, I can't really grow much further here, if at all. So I want to keep evolving somewhere else and grow. Like, that's the thing. I've always been a person fully based on not just self-development, not just self-actualization, but continuous challenge-based evolution in all aspects, from video games to content creation to life. And that's why I'm thinking of branching out in content creation too. I'm so close to making the second channel. I just want to have like all the videos done for it before I make it, so I can post. Like, when I post once a month, there it will be once a month. But that's the thing. It's rough. It's rough. Something scary. Oh, Toya. Otoya's gonna be something scary, gang. I know it's not really Otoya. It was the fear of being locked off from Rail. I know. That was his real fear, but like, it was triggered by Otoya, gang. Let's see. Ding dong ding. Ding dong ding dong. The second selection has just concluded. We now have all players who will proceed to the third selection. Please put on your scrimmage uniforms and gather in the central joint room. Princess, how's your knee? No problem. It's just fine. Which it wasn't last year. But yeah, they really got off screen. But I guess it doesn't really matter because they didn't score. And then you can't change that canon. Let's see. Oh, there's something I'm scared of. Ego? That fire will disappear. Oh! He was scared of it, but he just let it happen. What a shame, what a shame. That fire will disappear. Rail brought me along. I chased after Isagi and won my way back with these guys. Soccer and Blue Lock. Keep showing me new versions of myself. I want to stay inside this fire forever. I want to stay excited forever. No. Moving on. Will the second selection team Will the second cleared team please enter? I never want to wake up from this dream. Oh, nobody's gonna wake up from the dream. Isn't the latest chapter something like waking up from a dream too? No. From this dream, I want to stay fired up. Hey. And that's the end of the chapter. A W chapter. Sorry, I yapped way too much this week. See, like, I know some of y'all think, oh, Pencil, he must really like having hour-long videos. No, I don't! They take longer to export and longer to upload. I just be yapping. It's so, I wish the videos would come to you know how happy I am when like most of my regular Shoulder Jump reviews end up like at 30 minutes because like, okay, perfect, half an hour, shouldn't take too long to export, shouldn't take too long to upload. These beefy hour-long chunksters, I'm glad y'all enjoy them. I'm happy to make them, but like I never pay attention. And the thing is, OBS is right there. Like I see it on my second monitor. That's how I always can tell when I'm laggy or not. And like I see myself like running up the time, but I like to talk about this stuff. It gets me passionate, it gets me thinking about it. It gets the creative and yapping juices flowing. But regardless, if you made all the way to this video, please do me a favor and leave Fired Up Forever. F-U-F. Fired Up Forever. In the comment section down below. I did thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you're going to have a Patreon down below. Use more me for as low as $1. Get them on. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Those perks include the live reactions, here this season to review, ad variations of all my videos. And if you become a $12 Patreon or a $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You can drop 5 minutes for a short video, 29 beans a long video, or any beans all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Rebel 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Gyomi, Yuki Ally, Buddha Uda, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, G Prosper, Nevis 97, and Ollie. I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Reinhardt tier patrons: Sean, Nirvana Igneal, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Inc. tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly, Euchia, Carlo Alaimo, and Grim. And then I'd like to give a big old hefty thank you to our digital art tier members, Jay Warrior and AZ Void. And then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And then I'd finally like to give a giga super duper kidney sacrificing thank you to our ultimate, that guy with a heart on the horizon, Calvin Elder.